Hi everyone, I know it's been a while since the last video, but I've got something you might find interesting here. I bought myself a Honda CB250 from 1972. It's got duplex drum brake. It's a 2-cylinder 250cc bike. It looks small, but it's surprisingly heavy. A little bit more than 170 kilos. But I'm sure you can tell. It doesn't run right now. It's missing its white carburetor. When I got it, it started on the first 2 kicks, which was awesome, but it only ran on the left cylinder. Surprisingly well though. I adjusted the valves and the timing, and I tried to clean the carburetors as best as I can. It uses these really old style Keihin CV carburetors. They're both individual carburetors with 2 cables. We got a manual choke. And the right side carburetor was leaking from its overflow. And I figured it was just the float was set too high. Indeed, the float was set about 4 millimeters too high, but the carburetor was still leaking because it had a bad carburetor bowl. It was leaking from this little hose connector, I guess, and it's probably because the connection down there from this brass tube to the, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's a zinc body, cast zinc. Either way, the brass tube has a crack or it's leaking where it's pressed in at the bottom. Either way, I didn't want to attempt to solder it, so I've got myself 2 extra carburetors off eBay. I hope I can take 4 carburetors and make 2 that work. Let's see. Also right now I've got this Ural sidecar from the 80s. It's really awesome to ride. The sidecar is driven as well, but it only has about 7,000 kilometers on the clock. And it already got a busted gearbox. A buddy of mine bought this bike about a month ago. It wasn't that expensive, but it's sure a lot of fun to ride. Let me show you the damage. I don't know if you can tell, but there are the inner teeth are really charted up. So it was missing on the second gear. The second gear would slap. The second gear would slip out every now and then if you want to accelerate, and that was a huge pain in the ass. I don't know if I can find here. This is how it's supposed to look like. This is 4th gear. And this is how 2nd gear looks like. 1st and 3rd are equally bad, maybe not as bad, but they weren't making problems yet. Even the shift fork must have gotten so hot it turned partially blue, which is always a bad sign, I would say. But the parts are really cheap, only about 150 euros to fix up the entire gearbox. I don't know, it's still fun. So yeah, let's take a look. Yeah. What is really nice is it has a new float in it. The first one I already see, which is pretty cool. These brass floats tend to leak over time, especially if they're more than 40 years old. Remember, this is a bike from the early 70s. I'm not sure why, but I guess the solder joints just fail over time. Either way, replacing these is really expensive. A new one cost me about 33 or 34 euros, which is really, really expensive, I think. And what I think is really weird with these early 70s Keihin carbs is this is the secondary main jet, and this is, I hope you can tell, this is the primary main jet. They look pretty much the same, but the secondary main jet is a little bit bigger in diameter. And they're supposed to seal only with this O-ring. I'll show you how it goes together. You just hook them together in this weird little retaining piece, and then you just shove them in the holes, and that's it. I'm not worried about them falling out because this retaining piece is held in by the float bowl. The bottom of the float bowl pushes on it, so the jets won't fall out, which is pretty neat. But it would be way better if the jets were screw in, like on all the other carbs, so you don't have to worry about a leaky O-ring and your bike running weird. But I guess that's how they did it back then. Either way, the carbs look in pretty decent shape. They also got this weird choke plate intact. It has, I don't know if you can tell, but this little plate I can push in with my finger. I guess that's supposed to help you drive with the choke on, at least for a little bit until the bike warms up a bit. What you might find interesting, if you ever worked on a Japanese bike and you are having trouble to get the Phillips style screws out, here's what you might have missed. Can you see? I don't know, you probably can't. Maybe I have a better example. Can you see the dot on top of the screw, on the screw head? That tells you it's not a regular Phillips screw, but it's a JES screw. That means Japanese industry standard, and they need a different kind of screwdriver. I've got these impactor. This is a number 2. It tells you it's a Phillips 2, but it's actually a Japanese industry standard one. It says made in Japan as well. These work on standard Phillips screws as well. And they're designed so you don't strip screws. Phillips screws are designed so they slip at a certain torque. I don't know why, but the Japanese ones certainly aren't. So yeah, I took 4 questionable carburetors and cobbled together two hopefully good ones. It seemed to run quite good yesterday, and I took it for a ride, but I had the next problem right away, and the speedo didn't seem to do anything. So I checked the speedo cable and the drive inside the drum. That seemed to be okay. So I took apart the speedo and lubricated everything, and I really hope it works now. Let's see how good it starts today. Let's see if the electric starter does anything, but I doubt it. It sounds like a weak battery, but the battery isn't weak. I charged it yesterday and it's brand new, but it should start with the kickstart just fine. So yeah, it's idling well and it's running on both cylinders. So I'd say that's okay. I'm gonna take it for a drive and see if the speedo started to work. See you in a minute. Yeah, well, guess what? The speedo still doesn't work. I'm gonna check the speedo drive one more time, and if nothing helps, I'm gonna have to buy another speedo, a used one, as everything else in an old bike like this, they're really expensive. We'll see. But it runs and idles very well. The brakes work awesome, front and rear, and it starts up very well. So the carburetor operation seems to be a success.